Doug, let's talk about how Senate Republicans plan to counter the Democratic opposition. Oklahoma Senator James Lankford is part of the whip team trying to whip votes for Judge Kavanaugh. Senator, good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
No surprise, Democrats are attacking Judge Kavanaugh. Take a listen to this.
They use the one non-elected branch of government, Article 3, the judiciary, to sneak people onto the court who will then decimate Americans' health care.
We need a judge who is willing to provide a check against President Trump's health care sabotage and efforts to take away protections for patients with pre-existing conditions, not a green light.
Senator Lankford, what do you make of these arguments from your Democrat colleagues?
Yeah, it's not a green light to just have a judge that's going to do anything they want to. No one knows what a judge is going to be like once they get on the bench. These are lifetime appointments. We've seen just in the past couple of months. We've had Ruth Bader Ginsburg voting with the conservative majority on a swing issue. Obviously, we had Chief Justice Roberts who voted for the Affordable Care Act to be able to sustain that. So you can't predict that. What you look for is a judge that's going to follow the law. That's the key thing. Do they believe the law means what the law says at the time that it was written, or does it mean what they want it to mean based on the words right now? That's the key aspect. So far, Brett Kavanaugh has come out pretty clearly say the law means what the law says at the time it was written. If you want to write something different, then new law has to be passed.
Based on your experience, do you expect Judge Kavanaugh to get through with at least some Democrat support?
I think we'll have Democrat support if Republicans have enough votes to be able to pass them. If we have our 51 votes to be able to pass them, then I think some Democrats will jump on board. But I think Democrats will be very hesitant to be the final vote on it. What's interesting is all these same terms that he's anti-woman, he's going to be the worst thing ever. These were the same things Democrats said 30 years ago when Kennedy was going on the bench. Right. So they're just the normal playbook that they're going to come up with, but we're going to walk through this.
Shifting overseas, President Trump was pretty tough face-to-face with NATO today. Your colleague, Rhode Island Senator Jack Reed, reminded us of the importance of the alliance.
The president, in his actions and words, appears to be undercutting his own national defense policy. NATO soldiers have died serving side by side with U.S. soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen in the defense of fundamental values that we share. And we cannot ignore that.
I know you are personally urging NATO to do more in terms of spending on defense, but do you worry about some of the criticisms perhaps weakening the alliance?
I don't. I think the alliance is exceptionally important. I think we have very close allies in NATO. We've been the major supporter of NATO from the very beginning. It's interesting, presidents all the way back to Eisenhower and Kennedy and Nixon were saying NATO's got to step up and spend more. The Americans are carrying the bulk of NATO defense. Those are important, but we also forget after September 11, 2001, the NATO allies were the ones that stepped in to be able to help America as we responded back in Afghanistan. So NATO has been very close, both very important to us. We've been very important to them. I think we'll continue to do that. But there is an expectation. We're not going to carry the freight the whole time. We do expect you to be able to step up and fulfill the obligations you said you were going to fulfill.
Another hot topic, of course, is tariffs, with some of your Republican colleagues sounding the alarm.
This is an abuse of presidential authority. It's an abuse of presidential authority.
Let's be clear. This is a rebuke of the president's abuse of trade authority.
This is part of what looks like a pattern to me, and that's one of my concerns. This administration moving away from support for free trade.
Shooting ourselves in both feet at once, which is what we do when we impose these tariffs.
Senator Lankford, is President Trump getting bad advice from his team on tariffs?
I think the proof will be in the evidence when they finally get some trade agreements. And the problem is there aren't any trade agreements that are out there. They keep saying they're coming, they're weeks away, they're months away, they're close, we're really close, but we're not seeing it. And I would tell you the farmers in my state and the manufacturing folks in my state are past nervous. They're now facing real consequences of these tariffs that are coming down because their products are now slower to be able to go overseas. They cost more. They're having to eat the cost to be globally competitive. This has having a real effect on our economy and needs to be addressed quickly. What my incentive has been to the administration is settle any of these trade agreements. Settle NAFTA that you've said we're close to for months and months and months. Get that one settled. Then focus on South Korea. Then focus on some of the others. If China is the big problem, get the rest of them settled and have China be the last one that you resolve. But it's very difficult to be able to have all these juggling internationally at the same time, and no one has any understanding of what the cost of their products are going to be.
You wrote in a Washington Post op-ed last year, let's put it up up on the screen. August 14th, quote, "We have real problems with trade, such as closed markets, foreign subsidies, and stolen intellectual property. But setting up additional barriers and taxes on imports to reduce the trade deficit should not be the focus of our trade policy. The United States already benefits from trade, and when there is free and open competition, American workers and consumers always win." Have your concerns fallen on deaf ears, sir?
I don't know if they've fallen on deaf ears, but they keep saying we're working on it. We're getting close. I'm at the point of frustration to say you've got to move from we're close to done on any of these. And again, if they can settle one of these trade agreements, that'd be helpful. But right now we're having a trade war with Mexico, Canada, South Korea, with China, with all of the EU, and it continues to spread to more and more places as the administration continues to tell more and more countries we're going to put additional tariffs worldwide. At some point, that's got to be resolved because it does destabilize our economy, and it makes products more expensive for every single consumer.
Senator James Lankford, great state of Oklahoma. Thanks for your time, sir.
It's good to see you again.
Thank you.